let's talk about how you can handle the objects in your scene in the viewport. Let me close this a bit of a space and let's select one object like this one. Well, the first thing you will see in the viewport on this right top corner is that you have several options, which are the select, you have the translate, the rotation, and the scale. And as you can see, they have the shortcuts of Q, W, E, and R. So these are shortcuts that you're going to use a lot, and I recommend you to use them. I don't even think when I'm using them, I don't go here and click to select some of them. I just go to my keyboard and click the corresponding key. So let's start with the Q. The Q will only allows you to select objects, and you can select multiple objects using the shift and clicking multiple objects at the same time. To unselect, you can use the escape, or you can just click another object without using the shift key or without keeping the shift key down. The next part, which is more interesting, is related to the translate, and the translate can be achieved can also be achieved by using this parameter here in the details for the particular object, or you can use the arrows corresponding to every axis here. Let me go F and bit far away from the object. Now, related to the rotation, there is something that I would like to mention, and it's the fact that you can also use this snapping tool. And this is something I use a lot because it allows me to be very precise on the movement of the object. At this moment, the snapping is enabled because it is in blue, and the snapping is corresponding to 10 centimeters. So every time you move this object is going to move 10 centimeters. Let's move it to 100, which represents 1 meter. Now, when I move the object will be snapped to 1 meter. And this allows me to be very precise on the measurement, and I really use the snapping tool a lot for any position. Now, you can also, if you wish, you can also select multiple coordinates for, let's say I want to move in the plane of Y and X. Then I can select this small square between the Y and X, and as you can see, both arrows, the Y and X arrows, turn kind of selected, and now I can move the object in any position here. So you can use it like this and then move into the other corresponding coordinate, or you can move here in the plane, and it also applies, of course, to the other plane. So I can move here on up, top, down, and right and left. That's another option that you might have. Now, if you click the snapping tool to deselect it or disable the snapping tool, then you will be able to move exactly how much you want to move the object. As I mentioned, it is not my favorite way to approach in these cases, but it's something that you can do. Let me Control Z and add the snapping. The same thing happens if you wish to rotate the object. In this case, it's E. And I can see, as soon as you select the object, you see all the possible rotations you can do in the different axis. And here at this moment we have the snapping enabled as well for rotation, and I can select how much I wish to rotate the object. Let's say I want to rotate 45, then every time I move the object is going to rotate exactly 45 degrees, just like this one. There you see. You can see how this is working. The same thing, you can disable the snapping and rotate the object as much as you want. Let me click here. The other part is, the other tool is related to the scale, which is R. So let's select R. If you can change the scale of this object here in this section of the details, but you can also change the scale here on this axis. Now, the other thing you can do as well is saying, well, I want to select this one in the center and change the scale of my object in all axes at the same time. This is another option. And like in rotation and translation, you also have the possibility of snapping the scaling. So let's say that I want to use 25. That means that I'm going to scale this object 25% more than the previous size. So if I go up, it's going to be 25% bigger, 25%, 25%, etc. You can also say, well, I wanted to do it 100% every scale it. There you go. Here you have 100%. And as in the other cases, you can select, let me put it here in 25, I can unselect the snapping and pick the scale that I want for my object.